Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order the Blair County Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, July 9th, 2026 at being 10:02 a.m. I'd ask that you join me in a moment of silent prayer. Thank you. If you'd please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Executive session announcement.
We have no executive session announcements.
Thank you. Call to public comment on commissioner agenda. Hearing none. Commissioners' comments.
I do not have any.
I do. This will make lots of people who live out in Freedom and Greenfield Township happy. Next Wednesday, July 15th, you want to put this in the paper. From 3:30 in the afternoon until 7 in the evening, we're having a meeting at the Greenfield Community Center. The address is 122 Senior Drive in Claysburg. And we've already advertised this as a public meeting, but I just would like to see it somewhere so that it would draw people's attention. To show the plans for County Road 101, which we've been focusing on roads and bridges here in Blair County and trying to get things fixed and make sure that they're safe for people. But County Road 101 needs attention, and it's a long road, and it's got several bridges, so we can't do it all at once. We started in phases. We've completed 6 or 7 bridges. Now I'm not quite sure off the top of my head, and some pieces of the roadway. But we're going to show the plans next week as to the phases, what's next, what'll be next year, what'll be the following year, and lots of people are interested in this, so I want to make sure you all know about it and you can come. The engineers will be there, we'll be there, so people can ask questions and find out what's going on. Thank you.
Just want to remind everybody, big boys in town. I arrived last night. I was out with the crowds, and I was very pleased that everyone is abiding by the safety and security precautions, staying 25 feet off the tracks. Public viewing today from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. today and tomorrow down at the Rose Yard. And then it'll make its way around the Horseshoe Curve, I believe, around 9:45 on Saturday. So again, just it's a good thing for our community. All the hotels are full and the restaurants and everything. So just want to keep people aware of that. So can you take us through the consent agenda, please?
Yes, today we have resolution number 150, 2026, with the ratification of the warrants listed in item A, item B, the budget transfer to cover CYF legal fees, service fees, and item C, a budget transfer to cover county vehicle maintenance.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
I'm aye with abstentions to the payments to Hollidaysburg Borough and Thomas and Chandler Gendor.
Thank you. Staff reports and special business, 2025 audit. I can never pronounce the name, so.
ZA.
ZA,
Yeah,
there we go.
that's right.
Zelenkoski Axelrod. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see everybody. I think first and foremost, this is the earliest we've ever been here. So that's a big congratulations to your staff, AC, Angela in the controller's office, Lindsay and her staff. County audit's a big deal. I mean, I work with 40 counties, and there's a lot of moving pieces that got to come together. Some of it's within all of our control, and there's a lot that's not within our control. Everything kind of fell right this year, so here we are, first week of July. Able to talk to you. Real happy about that. I'm Corey Johnson, managing partner at Zelenkowski Axelrod. Derek Schrader is a principal, and Zeb Brott, he's a senior in our firm. I just want to say thank you. Keep this brief. Financial statements is an unmodified opinion. That's the highest level of assurance we can give you. That basically means that everything in your financial statements we believe to be materially accurate. Derek's going to walk through some of the financial statement highlights. Zeb's going to walk through some of the single audit highlights. I think one of the other things that made this year easier than the past, every now and again the Governmental Accounting Standards Board throws us some wrenches in terms of new adoptions of GASBs. We didn't have any this year, so that helped. I think leases and a bunch of other ones in the past few years, they were big undertakings for your staff and for us. So we didn't have those obstacles. So there are some coming in the future, but I think they shouldn't be as hard as the ones we've just got through. So, Derek, do you want to?
Absolutely.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Morning.
Just some high-level stuff. We'll just go over a couple numbers just to kind of give you guys a brief overview of what's in the financial statements. Usually what I like to say about your financial statements, when we're talking about the audit of the financial statements, there were two audits. The single audit, which is a compliance-based audit of the federal awards that you guys received. The financial statement audit is obviously of your books and records. So when I'm talking, I'll be talking about your financial books and records. When Zeb starts speaking, that'll be the compliance-based. So first thing I'd like to say is, again, I'd like to echo Corey's sentiments about everyone here at Blair County. We've had a wonderful working relationship with everyone here. They've been top-notch as far as being responsive and able to answer all of our questions, and we really appreciate it. So the other thing I'd like to say about the financial statements too is anyone who's new to reviewing financial statements on the government side, we have a section called Management's Discussion and Analysis, and I would just like to point that out to anybody who's reading these financial statements. That's usually the place that I would say you should probably start with and luckily it's in the front. So I would start there. It's usually in terms that are easier to understand than just looking at numbers and captions. So it goes into a little bit more detail. It kind of explains how the financial statements are set up. It talks a little bit about current year versus prior year. So it's always a good place to, if you're looking for something specific, hopefully it would be in that section. So moving on, your financial statements are separated into a couple different financial statements. So you have the government-wide financial statements, which are county-wide, is what I like to say. So it's all of your funds included into like one giant fund outside of any fiduciary activities that you guys would have. So like your pension, OPEB, well, you guys don't have a trust for OPEB, but your pension trust and any custodial funds that you guys might have. The other set of financial statements that you guys will see are the fund level financial statements, and usually those are more like a budget based. When you guys are looking for real numbers, that's where general fund is listed and any major funds that you guys would see. So social services, special grants, I believe was the other one, but that's where it kind of breaks it down into a little bit easier to understand as far as the pieces that would make up the county-wide statements. So first, as far as the government-wide statements go, your net position, which is the difference between all your assets and deferred outflows of resources, liabilities, and deferred inflows of resources, that's what's left over. So from a county-wide perspective, that increased $7.4 million. That's up from $7.2 million to $24.6. Total assets also increased $1.3 million, and the significant driver of that was a $1.3 million capital asset investment. That investment itself is the difference between depreciation and your total investment. So in total, capital assets actually increased significantly. So as far as liabilities go, your liabilities were down 2.3. So those are two numbers that you like to see going up and down conversely. The biggest drivers of that were your debt, where you guys are making your scheduled debt payments timely. I think it was $2.3 million, and then another $77,000 as far as lease debt would go. Other things that went down, your net pension liability also decreased. Your OPEB liability also decreased. Most of that has to do with how the market was last year. So, and then also your continued importance as to making your required contributions, and even more so a little bit in some cases. So as far as revenue highlights go, the total countywide revenue was $94.8 million. Biggest pieces of that, definitely tax revenue. There was a tax increase in 2025 that led to an additional, it's not an exact figure, but about $3.4 million. Grant revenue was down this year, and this is going to be a big number, but this can be explained. $26.3 million. That's a significant number. It's significantly tied to your COVID funds. So ARPA, ERAP, those type of things, stuff that you guys had already had expenditures for in the past. Those were what those big figures look like. And even in saying that, you guys still had a net position increase of the 7.4. So even with that huge drop, you guys are still doing very well. So another quick highlight as far as revenues go was interest income was up. Biggest factors that led to that were some interest rates that you guys were able to get through your banks. And then, interest income went down. And the biggest reasons for that were the cash that you guys spent as far as when you guys were funding things because of the budget impasse, you guys had to use some of your cash reserves. That brought cash balances down, which led to less interest. So as far as expenditures go, total countywide expenditures, $87.4 million. Overall expenses were up 3.1. The biggest driver of that was under juvenile welfare. That was an increase of 2.7. Main reason for that was wages, the increase in wages, and that was kind of like an across-the-board wage. Most wages went up in 2025. When we're just speaking about the funds themselves, general fund is usually the one I like to highlight the most. Total fund balance in general fund was $20.3 million. That's a very healthy balance. It's an increase of $460,000. It ends up being about 42% of your annual expenditures, which again, very healthy. That's what you're looking for. It's about 5 months worth of operating expenditures. So if you think about just general fund in itself, if you guys were to receive nothing else, you guys can continue moving on for 5 months. I know this is very much dark time or discussing that sort of thing, but you guys would be able to continue to function for 5 months just on what you have. So very healthy reserve, very strong financial position. Just some quick other financial highlights as I was going through the statements. Again, general obligation debt decreased. It went from 3.9 to 11.6. Again, that was basically because of the scheduled debt payments that you guys are making. Your pension liability actually went down to $70.1 million. OPEB liability also decreased, and again, these decreases were largely based on your investment income and how that kind of factors into your liabilities there. So you had a capital investment in total capital assets of $6.7 million. That includes the spending of all the different construction in progress things that you guys have going on in the county. I believe the clock tower was one of those last year. I know there's a continuing, the parking garage was also, I think, in 2025. So a couple things that are driving some of those expenditures to increase, but they're for assets. So your total depreciation was $3.8 million. Those are there's a calculation and straight line method that kind of allows us to, from an accounting speak, to spread those expenditures out over the years based on useful lives of those assets. And as far as your net investment in capital assets, it's increased to 49.8, and a big piece of that was your capital investment that we just talked about. And with that, I will allow Zeb to come in and talk to you a little bit about the single audit and the compliance.
Thank you.
On the single audit, the county received an unmodified compliance opinion. There were no federal findings, DHS findings, question costs, and there were no material weaknesses over compliance that were noted. There were 3 major programs that we tested this year, they being foster care, adoption assistance, and the Medicaid cluster. The CFA shows a total amount of federal expenditures in 2025 for about $9.2 million. Of that $9.2 million, we tested $5.2 million, so about 56% of total expenditures between those three programs. There was no federal compliance findings, but there was 2 financial reporting findings. And I might just add that these are repeats from the prior year. Often, if there's a finding in the prior year, by the time that it's found out due to the timing of the audit, it'll flow into another audit. So the 2 findings were, the first one is segregation of duties finding. It's related to the Treasurer's Office. It's approximately $18 million of misappropriation. That was 18,000, excuse me, of misappropriation noted. It's not material to the financial statements, and it highlights the need for a stronger internal control, and management has taken corrective action on this. The other finding that is noted is for bank reconciliations. Again, this is related to the Treasurer's Office. There was some staff turnover last year that can contribute to this, and some of the reconciliations were not completed in a timely manner. There was no material misstatements identified as part of this finding, and management is implementing improvements on this finding. So overall, they're the same findings as last year's, and there are corrective actions underway, and we'll monitor these in the continuing future. So in conclusion, I want to echo what these guys have said and thank the commissioners and the management and staff, and we appreciate the opportunity to serve Blair County. If you have any questions, we can transition to that.
I don't know how we can have questions when it's such a good report, so we're grateful. So thank you for all the hard work that you've done. I know that you've been here a while, and we appreciate it. We like to know we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So, and I know, I want to thank AC specifically and Lindsay, both and their staff, because I know that they work extremely hard to hold everybody in check and do the things that they do, and we would not be able to operate as a county without them and their leadership. So thank both of you and your staff for all your hard work.
I would just like to comment. I know you made some comments about the reserve being healthy, and I get questions about that from the public a lot. Why do you need to raise taxes when you have all this in reserve, even from people in this building? Why can't you expand our budget? You have all this money in reserve. And we do that because we're planning for the worst case scenario. We can't take that risk on as a county, as we saw last year with the extended budget impasse and the impact that had on our finances. And so here we sit again with no state budget yet. We hope that it's faster this year than last year, but we have no confidence or assurance that that will be the case. So that's the reason for that. And so I think that's one of the biggest changes I've seen since I became commissioner is continuing to grow that healthy reserve to put us in the best place that we can be with the risks that we're faced with.
Yeah, when we started, it was like 6 million or something? It was very small. That's very small. That's a relative thing, but in terms of how far that would have gotten us, and and then we don't have to worry about tax anticipation borrowing either.
And we put that to use last year because the budget impasse, and we did go 5 months using the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's a credit to the controller's office and our finance office for ensuring that there's money put aside just for that. So I think everything that was brought up is really good points, and people need to understand that we do try to plan for those times. And as Commissioner said, we're in it again. So thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the acceptance of the 2025 audit report prepared by ZA. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Prison. Morning.
Good morning. My name is Sean Edmondson. I'm the Deputy Warden of Treatment and Inmate Services at the County of Blair Prison. I've been with the prison for about 19 years. I've been in that Deputy Warden position for about 6 years. I'm here today to very respectfully request the approval for the award and rejections of the bids received for the Blair County Prison Medical Services Provider today. On the agenda today, there's 6 bids listed there by 5 separate vendors. And I would just request that the board ensures that the award would focus on the Armor Health bid. Just a lot of consideration and discussion and a lot of time and work and effort into, that department. I would also like to just add that it appears that Armor Health would be the best value overall as far as that bid looks on this agenda today. I think that we would have strong recommendation to consider that award for Armor Health.
I'll make a motion to approve and award the medical vendor for the prison, that being Armor Health. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments or questions?
So, it's hard to compare the prime cares without doing a little bit of math. But
I
your
agree.
recommendation is for Armor Health, for what? It appears that it's not the lowest bid.
Yes, that's a great question.
So
And-
I would ask why we're not accepting the lowest bid.
Yeah, that's a great question. My response would be, in terms of contract obligations that affect, of course, the inmate safety. That, of course, means staff safety, security. That, of course, means taxpayer liabilities. I would say that Armor Health was reviewed the same as all the other vendors were reviewed, and it just appears that publicly documented Armor Health would be the best value overall. It's where I would focus on with that provider. Not just simply because it was the lowest bidder.
I believe the Zenova is actually non-compliant, so we cannot award the lowest number. And then the Prime Care is our current provider, and we had some discussion about this at the prison board meeting on Tuesday. There were some concerns with the services provided, which leads us to conclude they're, in legal terms, not a responsible bidder. So
Right,
that's where we end up at the Armor Health bid.
right. And that's
Certainly.
kind of what I wanted you to explain.
Yeah, there's also,
I appreciate that, yes.
the Prime Care bid does not, they're not apples to apples when you look just at the numbers because of the lack of the catastrophic medical costs not being included in the Prime Care bid. So that's roughly $600,000, although the exact number is unknown. But that, obviously, if you add $600,000 to their, the $2.8 million, that's a lot closer to the Armor Health bid. So it's not really, $900,000 difference. It's more like a few $100,000, but that's also a speculative amount because, again, we don't know the exact cost of the catastrophic.
I agree, thank you.
The other thing that I would add to that is that the effort to work with the prison, that every individual who gets a bump or a cut does not have to be taken out to a hospital to get stitches. Those things can be done in-house. The amount of medical transports that we've seen increase and the what appears to be the reluctance to work with prison staff to try to reduce that. So I guess what the two commissioners have said, and you said, that there's a lot more to just the bid that we've looked at, and it was discussed at the prison board, and collectively, the members of the prison board as well as the commissioners agree that Armor Health, based on everything that we've looked at and based on what the bid was, we believe is the appropriate medical provider. And I don't think that the numbers, when you look at the numbers, they're reflective of the total cost. I do think that if you add the catastrophic and other expenses that come in with the Prime Care, that it's not far off, if at all, from Armor Health. So, any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Children and youth.
Eric
morning.
had to step out, so you
Okay,
get me
good
again. Today, we're requesting approval of the fiscal year 26-27 purchase of service agreement and HIPAA business associate agreement between the County of Blair, Blair County Children, Youth, and Families, and Hoffman Homes Incorporated for July 1st, 26 through June 30th, 27.
I'll make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second?
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
All right, requesting approval of the fiscal year 26-27 renewal purchase of service agreement and HIPAA business associate agreement between the County of Blair, Blair County Children, Youth, and Families, and Family Services Incorporated for July 1st, 26 through June 30th, 27.
Make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second?
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
And we're requesting approval of fiscal year 26-27 renewal purchase of service agreement and HIPAA business associate agreement between the County of Blair, Blair County Children, Youth, and Families, and Alternative Living Solutions for July 1st, 26 through June 30th, 27.
Make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second?
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
And finally, we're requesting approval of fiscal year 26-27 renewal of purchase of service agreement and HIPAA business associate agreement between the County of Blair, Blair County Children, Youth, and Families, and Bethany Christian Services for July 1st, 26 through June 30th, 27.
Make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments or questions?
I'm going to change it up and make a comment.
I was going to go ahead.
Actually, I have a question too. So these are obviously the 2026, 2027 contracts. Do you know how many more we have? I know we've done a bunch.
Since Eric's taken over, I know that we have probably 6 waiting for approved budget packets. And then we have probably 5 or 6 more that Shannon's requested that he contract with, so they're in the process. And then I think we have maybe a few hanging out, so I would say 10 to 15 left.
Okay, I was curious, I know this came up recently, just looking at, we talk a lot about programmatically how much the agency has progressed in the last
Yeah.
few years, but for fiscal, it's a similar situation where we had maybe 1 or 2 staff members. We
Yeah.
were years behind on our
Yeah.
contracting. So to be at this point where we're already well through the current year
Yes.
contracts is
Yep, and Eric's doing great.
really good. And so I just wanted to comment on that your side of the office
The
is
world.
also
Thank you.
working really well. So it's good to see.
Thank you.
And could you collectively, I know instead of going through each one of these, basically when we're approving these things and they're different vendors, could you just kind of overview what they are so that people
Yeah.
understand?
I mean, Hoffman Homes, Alternative Living Solutions, and Bethany Christian Services are placement providers, foster care providers, and Hoffman Homes has a few group homes. And then Family Services is the teen shelter in Altoona.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Social services.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, first, we are requesting approval of a property owner contractor agreement for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Code Compliance Repair Assistance Program between the County of Blair, Department of Social Services, Carletta Nicholson, and McFarland Remodeling and Construction for porch repairs located at 1828 11th Avenue for the amount of $7,500.
Make a motion to approve. Can I have a second?
Second?
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Requesting the approval of the fiscal year 25-26 contract amendment, number 1, between the County of Blair and Hope Drop-In Center for the period of July 1st, 25 to June 30th, 26. And that increase is the contract amount of $140,000. The amendment on the contract is $45,000. And the reason we're able to do this is because we have 4 contracted providers that did not spend all their money. So with the flexibility of being part of the Human Services Block Grant, we can move that money around. If we don't move it around, we send it back. And we don't want to do that.
So use it or lose it.
We're using it. We're going to use it any way that we can.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, yes, I did have some questions about it because, we received the thing that just says it's going up by like a third, and it's like,
Yes.
well, where did the money come from? Just because we have money doesn't mean we have to spend it, but it sounds like,
We have to spend it or we send it back.
yeah, send it back to the
So I do
state.
have the Hope Drop-In Director, if you guys have questions for him on where that money is going for this past year,
That would be great.
he would love to answer that.
Thank you.
I
Because
think
we just
Kay would
want
like
to
to hear
know.
that too.
We just want to understand why, that's all. I mean, it's not, we're not
So
picking
this
on you.
is Sean Burns. He's been with Hope Drop-In for two years now?
Year and a half.
Year and a half. I was trying to give him extra credit. So he can
Okay.
tell you what he's doing with some of the money that we're transferring for him.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So the money that's being transferred is going to cover programming for us that we've already spent. Because unfortunately, in the last year, we did have some building issues where we discovered mold in the building and had to tear out 70 foot of wall, reframe it, repair it all, and then replace our parking lot because it had become hazardous where people were falling in potholes. So we spent 70,000 this year on building repairs that was not covered, which hurt our programming. So this funding is what we are using to replace the programming and keep it going instead of having to contract it and lower things.
This is all grant funded, so.
It's for the human service block.
Right.
Yeah. And what exactly, so that people understand, is programming?
Yeah, so our biggest programming is we're a mental health drop-in. People come and go as they please, and they come in for one-on-one support, group support, sharing their lived experience. We also serve hot meals Monday through Friday from 12 to 1, and we bring in other organizations. Penn State comes in and teaches a cooking and nutrition class. We have an art director who teaches painting classes once a week. And we try and come up with things. And basically, if you walk in and you're like, hey, I have this talent I want to share, we find a way to help you share it with everybody while making everyone feel included and not left out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I will make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second?
We've already had comments and questions, so all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much and welcome. Good.
Okay. So the next one is requesting approval for fiscal year 25-26, contract amendment number 1 between the County of Blair, Social Services, and NAMI for the period of July 25 through June 26. And the maximum contract amount is $120,000. For this amendment, we are doing $30,000 for the same reason. And if you have any questions,
Yes.
Amy?
Let's hear about it.
Which is the same question, really.
Like,
Yeah.
I know what they're doing and I know their programs, but these are the two people that run the programs. They know their budget in and out, and they know what happens daily at these programs, where I could just give you just a quick overview. They can give you a lot more details.
Right.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Amy Burns from the National Alliance on Mental Illness here in Blair County, otherwise known as NAMI. We provide free mental health support, education, and advocacy for individuals in Blair County, including, we've been requested to go to court with people just to help advocate for their mental health. We've been requested by inpatient facilities if we will do phone advocacy for people when, I guess, magistrate or something's going to the inpatient. But our biggest thing is we, our base contract is $60,000. And we provide a conference every year. This year, from 2021 to 2025, the conference has quadrupled. Our first conference after COVID had 60, 70 people. This year, we had 241 that stayed all day, but 252 total registrants. And just the expense of the conference, direct expenses was about $11,000, and then you have your indirect expenses of wages to put the conference together and stuff like that. But we also increased all of our programs. Our family to family, we went from 2 per year to 3 per year. We are hopefully going to add even a 4th one in the 26-27 year. Our peer-to-peer course, we've added a 3rd one. We've added a 3rd one to our NAMI Basics course. We've added NAMI Homefront for our veterans, active service members, and their families. We've also added a mindful moments where we have somebody come in and teach people, mindfulness and how to relax. We've added NAMI Hearts and Minds. We also expanded, we had received in 2023 a grant to write and start a program for families called The Power of Creativity for Mental Health. And our very first launch, we had about, I'd say 20 people, so about 4 families. Our one that we just ended, and we've just been, we don't have that grant anymore. It ran out a long time ago, but we had 32 participants between 9 families at this last one. Our family-to-family courses have grown from 2 or 3 families to this last one we did. We had 20 families participate. We've added a mental health back-to-school bash last year during the 25-26, where we helped families not just with getting donations of school supplies and having a meal, but we helped them and their children mentally prepare for the upcoming school year, help children learn how to talk about their concerns and what might frighten them so that their parents would have a better understanding. And we've gone from 6 support groups a month to 12 support groups a month, 4 of them at the Blair County Prison. We have a meeting with the prison soon to hopefully add more once we get some other things worked out with moving the one we do for the women's now. We have spoken at PSU 3 times in the past year, St. Francis, Tyrone High School 2 times in the past year, Hollidaysburg Area High School. We are on the schedule to be at Altoona Area High School this year to speak a few times with our In Our Own Voice presentation. We've added public In Our Own Voice presentations. We did 1 at Tyrone Area Library. We did 3 at the Altoona Area Library this past year. So we've added a lot of programming, which increased the amount of people we reach. From 2023, our total number of people was 658. By the end of May of this year, when I reported my numbers, we were at 1,744 people that we reached this past year.
Wow.
So that is why we're hoping you'll approve our increase.
So they are really growing and.
Thank you.
If one question for you though, just so people understand, when you say covering the cost of a conference, can you expand what the conference is? You weren't in Florida, you were.
Oh, no, that was.
Yeah, could you explain to the people what that is?
So that's just our local conference. We are, and it's part of just how we're set up. I cannot attend a conference like even the NAMI National Conference unless I have a scholarship to go.
And during the conference, what do you go over?
So like this year's conference, we had one gentleman who talked about his journey through mental health and, not realizing from the time he was little that he had a mental health diagnosis and how music could help him. It's all about mental health and suicide prevention. We had 52 vendors come set up tables to pass out information to the public. No, 48 this year. Last year was 52, excuse me. We had 48 vendors in April that were there to pass out information to the public. We had the Jason Foundation talked about suicide prevention and teen and youth mental health. And then we had a lady who donated her time and contacted me. I was like kind of honored by it, from Johnson & Johnson, who came and talked about schizoaffective disorder and bipolar disorder and the signs and symptoms and how people can write a plan for their own safety and their family safety if they feel they're having an episode. Does that help answer?
It does. I just want people to understand the conference isn't just people going there and eating and having fun.
Oh, no, it's all educational.
It's a productive working
Yes.
for the community,
Yes.
which I think people need to understand that so they have a clear picture of what you're doing. We appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Just one. So you said you had a relaxation thing?
Mindful
Teaching?
moments, we call it, yes.
Okay, could you get the 3 of us into that?
Absolutely. I can send you emails. We just finished one last Wednesday. I just got to get with Sarah to find out when the next one's scheduled, and I will
Yeah,
email
we
you.
don't relax.
I get it. Any other questions?
No,
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
So
I'll make-
towards the end of the year, I just wanted to add real quick, if that's okay. Like, we look at their budgets and we see how much they spent and how much they're underspent for the year. So that's why we chose these 2 to get the extra money, because we see they are doing a lot in the community for mental health.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second.
I just make one last comment. We appreciate what you do A lot of people don't see what you do, but you're a significant part to the community and those people who need the significant help that you provide. So we greatly appreciate as a board what you do, and we're grateful to support that. All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Okay. Moving on, requesting approval of the purchase of service agreement between the County of Blair on behalf of the Department of Social Services and Deborah Lux Esquire to provide mental health procedures act legal representation for court appearances as court-appointed mental health review officer at the rate of $200 per hearing for the period of May 2026 through June 2027.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, so requesting the approval of purchase of service agreement between the County of Blair on behalf of the Department of Social Services and Zulinger Davis, I'm going to say Trin, PC Law Offices to provide Mental Health Procedures Act legal representation for court appearances for mental health review officers at the rate of $160 per hearing for the period of May 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2026, and at a rate of $175 per hearing for July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027, because their rates increased.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second?
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
And I just wanted to add for that just real quick. We're trying to move all these hearings in office with our mental health review officers that we already have purchase agreements for. But there are times where we have a community member, like this one was in Franklin, Fulton somewhere, and instead of calling us, they called their own mental health department there and they went ahead and did it. So we're trying to get them all back into our office with our mental health review officers, but that's going to take time. So
Well, we appreciate
that is
the
our
attempt.
goal. Okay, so the last one is requesting approval to submit the 2026-2027 Human Services Annual Plan to the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you very
Thank you.
much. Public Works.
Don't we have to? Are these the business ones? No, no.
Good morning. Morning.
Requesting approval of road maintenance and dedication agreement between the County of Blair and Juniata Township for the County Bridge 81 located on Chapel Road T364.
I'll make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
I will happily second this because we're going to eliminate a bridge.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of work went into this, so I
Yes.
appreciate everyone's efforts in making this occur, including Juniata Township and
Absolutely.
their staff. So
And PennDOT.
and PennDOT,
PennDOT,
yes,
yeah, PennDOT really helped us on this, yeah.
It's a collaborative effort here. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Commissioners?
The Commissioner's Office is requesting approval to place an advertisement for the Blair County yard sale.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments, questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We would like to add, under the Commissioners, which was not in the agenda, we would like to add an item today, agenda citing exception 1 to the Sunshine Act. Due to the recent flooding, a county disaster declaration would allow the communities that receive damage to be eligible for any disaster relief that they may qualify and to receive. So I make a motion to add this to the agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
I'm
And
all-
then we have to do a roll call, which that's where each of us individually.
Right.
Yeah. So each of us individually has to confirm that we agree.
Okay, I agree. I approve.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, requesting approval for the declaration of disaster for July 5th and 6th, 2026 flooding that took place in several municipalities in Blair County. Any comments or questions on that?
From the public, to be clear. public comment on that?
Does it cover the whole county? You don't just limit it to one municipality?
I think it's only to 2. I could be wrong. It says several, but I know there was Tyrone, and I believe that there was another one.
Snyder Township was the other one. The actual declaration
I was gonna say-
is not specific, though, I
Yeah.
don't believe.
We have a copy of it here if you want to look at it afterwards.
There may be more coming in. We understand that there's damage that we found out in Altoona, so that, but they have to reach a threshold. So they're collecting the data on that now. I'll make a motion to approve the declaration of disaster for July 5th and 6th. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments or questions?
That's a roll call as well.
Oh, it's also a roll call.
All right, a roll call on the request. I agree. I approve.
I approve.
Aye.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the declaration of disaster for 5th and 6th in 2026. May I have a second?
Second.
All
thought we
those in
just did-
favor?
Didn't we just do that?
We just did.
Well, I did it again. All those in favor? Aye.
We're double.
We would also like to add an item to today's agenda citing exception number 4 to the Sunshine Act due to the fact that the time on this is of the essence for the project. Ask for a roll call vote on that. Yes.
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 Okay. Requesting approval of a resolution authorizing the temporary and permanent easements to undertake the reconstruction of County Road number 104, Cranberry Road, located in North Woodbury Township. Any public comment?
Is that near the airport?
Yes.
Yes.
correct.
Yes, we needed to get actual easements from 4 property owners. And some of them were kind of difficult to track down, so it took us longer to get them than we had hoped. But we have the consents, the signatures for all 4. And what this does is it authorizes us to then pay them $50 per property owner for our taking of the easement.
Call for a roll call vote on this resolution. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All those in, I guess we did. All those in favor, aye. All right. And
Could I just add something on that? The total
Please.
amount is less than $160. So I think it may also qualify under a de minimis exception, but
Oh.
we're
yeah.
going with number 4.
Yeah, yeah, it's actually $157.50 is the total we're paying. So it is just under.
okay, there is no old business. I'll make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next Board of Commissioners meeting will be held Thursday, July 16th, 2026, 10 a.m. in this room. Thank you very much.